Yes, folks, welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. You know why we're here. It is starting 11 prediction time for tomorrow's derby at Celtic Park. I'm not going to do too much in terms of previewing the game tonight. We did that the other night with Callum in the preview show, so I'll link that up here and at the end of the video if you haven't seen it already. We're just going to get straight into it, talking about the team news which we found out today from the press conference of Ange Postecoglou. And we'll do a wee bit as we go through about each position and what the options are, the places we've got injuries, and what the headaches are for the manager coming into this game. Obviously, both teams are in decent form. There's been a lot of talk since Beale came in about how much the gap has narrowed between us and Rangers. The truth is that the gap hasn't narrowed at all because we're still 9 points clear, and if anything, we've actually increased the goal difference margin. So this is a big game tomorrow, as these games always are, but it presents us with a brilliant opportunity to put almost two hands on the trophy, because a 12-point lead with only 7 or 8 games to go would be absolutely unassailable if a 9-point lead isn't already. So it's a huge opportunity for us at home in front of a packed Celtic Park with only Celtic fans in the stadium, which is quite unique. And regardless of what you think of the merits of no away fans versus 7,000 away fans, that's what we have to deal with tomorrow. And in the home games, it's a huge benefit for us, and hopefully we can put on a show, have a brilliant day, and as I say, take that 12-point lead and almost as good as seal the title. So we'll get to the team, and we'll start in goals as we always do, because where else would you start a starting 11? Joe Hart will play in there. I think the back five picks itself. I covered this last week in the build-up to Ross County. Johnson at right back, Carter Vickers and Starfelt at centre half, still undefeated in the league when starting together, and Greg Taylor is fit after coming off with a knock against Ross County last week. He's fit. That's a huge boost for us. Greg Taylor's been one of our best players this season. He's been one of the most consistent performers. He's probably hands down the most improved player in the Celtic team since Ange Postecoglou arrived, of the players that Ange inherited. We know he's brought some great signings to the club, but I think the development of Greg Taylor since Ange's came in has been better than anybody else that was in the squad when Ange arrived. He's been brilliant. A huge boost for us. Good for Bernabei to get a goal last week. That'll do his confidence forward good, but there's no doubt we're a stronger team with Greg Taylor at left back. I think defensively we're more sound, but I also think in terms of playing in that inverted vault and helping us build out from the back, coming into midfield, he's much better at that than Bernabei, both in terms of his positional sense, but also his calmness on the ball. It's a huge boost for us that Greg Taylor is fit. That will be the back five tomorrow, I would expect. In midfield, we have got a couple of issues. Callum McGregor, I think, will go back to the deep position. We've seen Tomoki Iwata start there last weekend. I thought he did well for his first league start, Iwata. I just don't think... I mean, Ange might surprise us. We've seen it before in these games. He might surprise us. He might put Iwata in there. And this might be a game more suited to Iwata's skill set, because he looks like a bit of a destroyer. He covers ground well, you can tell. He's good at reading the game, intercepting, good in duels, good in tackles. It could be the ideal game for Iwata, but I just feel like he'll go with McGregor in the deep position, and that probably gives away who I think will start ahead of him. I think Aaron Moy will come back in again, injured last weekend, but back. I think he's a huge boost for us, and I think Matt O'Reilly will play alongside him. Now, as I say, I think there's probably an argument to be made for Iwata. I just feel in my gut like Ange will go with that midfield three there rather than play Iwata, who's not had much experience and not been here for very long. As I say, it could be a curveball to throw him in, and I understand the merits of him playing in the six, moving McGregor up one, letting him play alongside. I think it would be Moy. I think Moy is still ahead of O'Reilly in the pecking order. O'Reilly's not really been at his best for the past few months, but I just think it'll be that three. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's the three that will give us the best chance of dominating the game in midfield. I understand that Moy and O'Reilly together haven't quite clicked as well as Moy and Hatate. And Hatate, the elephant in the room I've not mentioned yet, it's a huge blow for us that he can't play tomorrow. It really is a huge blow. He's another one that's been a standout all season, particularly in the last 3 or 4 months. He has been the single best player on the pitch for Celtic, but he's unavailable, and it gives these guys a chance to go and prove their point. The likes of Matt O'Reilly can go and silence any doubters that he's had this season by putting in a performance tomorrow. He's already done it in these games on numerous occasions. His debut at Celtic Park in the 3-0 game last February was brilliant. He was excellent in the 4-0 game at the start of this season. We know he can perform, and it's a great opportunity for him to go and do that tomorrow. Now, front three, I don't think there's really any arguments in the front three. I think the front three in these games has been pretty consistent, and I think it will be Jota on the right-hand side, Dyson Maeda on the left, and Kyogo Furuhashi through the middle. Again, you can debate the strengths of Jota on the right-hand side versus on the left. There's no doubt they'll switch throughout the game. But Dyson Maeda's role in these derbies has been vital for us. The energy, the work he puts in, how he restricts Rangers in the wider areas. He'll run all day for us. That is the one thing you're guaranteed with Dyson Maeda. And I think that front three has served as well in these games. Again, if you go back to that 4-0 game, I think Abada started that day. He was excellent. That's a blow for us that Abada isn't available as well. Not that I expected him to start tomorrow, but if he'd been available, he's a great option from the bench. He's got a great scoring record against Rangers in games at Celtic Park. So that is a blow for us not to have him available, at least as an option from the bench. But I think that front three is the strongest front three. And I think they can cause Rangers real problems, as they did in the cup final. Not in terms of maybe assists and goals from the wide areas for Jota and Maeda, but the work they put in terms of their movement and how that opened up space for the likes of Moy and Hatate, who were instrumental that day. Taylor out wide, Johnston was effective from full back as well. The work they put in is integral, and I think how this Celtic team functions from 1 to 11 is its real strength. We've got a lot of technical quality in terms of individuals, but it's the movement, it's the attacking patterns, it's the speed of play, it's the philosophy that Ange Postecoglou has instilled that makes this Celtic team so difficult to deal with as a unit. That's the lineup I think the manager will go with tomorrow. If they perform to their level, I expect us to win the game, and what a day it would be to take a 12-point lead at the top of the table. There you go. You can let me know in the comments who you would start. Please don't forget to subscribe. This is a big weekend for the channel. Hopefully we can get the result that we want, and we're closing in on 38,000 subscribers. So if you watch all the time and you haven't subscribed, you want to do something to help the channel, click the red subscribe button below. It's absolutely free, as it always is to subscribe on YouTube. You just need to log in. We'll see you tomorrow after the game with full-time reaction outside Celtic Park and the post-match pint from Malone's. Wherever you're watching the game around the world, enjoy it. See you soon.